Under the sun, the fields are alive. Cheering crowds and the teams collide. In these moments, we stand tall and free. First pride runs deep in me. With every touchdown, we rise and we cheer. Unity and spirit, the heart of the year. Raise your voices, let's make it loud. In Florida's high schools, we're so damn proud. From the bleachers to the end zone to go, football and cheers make our spirits grow. Girls in the game, they're fierce and bright. Flag in hand, they give it their might. From every town they bring their dreams. On this field of gold, nothing's as it seems. Together we shine, together we play. In Florida's heart, we own this day. Raise your voices, let's make it loud. In Florida's high schools, we're so damn proud. From the bleachers to the end zones go, football and cheers make our spirits grow. So here's to the game, we'll rise and stand. In Florida's field, we're your daddy band.
All right, welcome to the final show of the night. It is time for the Panhandle edition of the Blitz here as we come to you here on this Wednesday night as we get ready for week number 2 here in the Sunshine State. I'm Josh Wilson, that's Christopher Like here. And Chris, boy, we have just been nonstop talking football the last 2 nights here, and we got a great show here lined up for the Panhandle edition of the Blitz with Tommy Joe Whiddon for our interview, the head coach of those Mosley Dolphins. And I know there'll be some fans, Mosley fans, lurking around, and they'll be excited to see that interview tonight.
Oh, yeah, looking forward to that one. Yeah, what Mosley coming off a good win this past week, and
Yes.
see how they're gonna do this over the next few weeks.
No, and they got a big in-county Bay County rivalry matchup with Bay High coming up here this week, and that's going to be a good one here. And but you know, when you get those in-county rivalries, you always expect nothing less than a showdown between 2 programs like that, especially 2 programs that have a lot of history, a lot of tradition, and everything like that. But with that said, let's get into it with the Blitz Lines and go. If I can get it to go for here. Why is it not going here? Let's go. There we go. There we go. I should hit the one button too many. There we go. All right. As we look back on our games that we talked about last week in terms of our picks here, some interesting results coming out of the Panhandle, and Rickards and Gabi gamed that one right there between the 2 Tallahassee rivals, and Gabi didn't start off the season so well. Rickards picked up a big win right there to start off the season. It was like 41-31. That was the final there. And yeah, I just I was kind of scratching my head on that one because I thought Rickards had a little bit more rebuilding. But then I think also at the same time, I think the transfers that have come in, there was a couple of kids that that were part of the transfer situation that were dealing with Gaston County. They came back to the Rickards, and Rickards also picked up a couple of transfers in the process when St. John Paul II dismantled the football program.
Yeah, Rickards. Gabi. I don't know. My mind focused on a cat right now. So
You're the cat. The cat decided to distract you.
yeah.
But anyways, Rickards picking up the big win there at Gene Cox there to start off. It was 41-34. That was the final score there, and Rickards had a huge night there. But looking at some of the other results coming in from around the Panhandle, Pace at Mary G. Montgomery, Pace dropped that game right there. But Choctaw Gulf Shores had a little bit of a lead right there, but Choctaw fought back, got the win right there, and the computer was kind of balanced. It was a kind of a back and forth situation between Gulf Shores and Choctaw, but Frank Beasley's group pulled out the win right there, and got started with the season 1-0. And then of course we had Dunnell and Florida High. We talked a little bit about that in the previous show, North Central Florida Blitz, but Florida High comes away 17-14 in that game. How about Madison County, the defending Rural State champs, losing at home at Boot Hill to DeLand and Rick Darlington's squad, 21-20. And then, of course, the game of the week there, Niceville and Lincoln. Oh, boy, that was a back-and-forth game because seeing all the posts and everything, but Lincoln comes away 36-29 in that, and a program that Coach Whiddon is very familiar with. Niceville, not only has he played for Niceville, coached it with Niceville at one particular point or another, but it's a program that he's got to face again in the district because they're district foes, and every year it's been that when it comes down to that district championship over there in 5A1 or whatever the district number, you can put any label on it. They've been in the same district for a while. That's been battle, and Mosley's come away the last couple of years with that district title, and I don't expect anything to be different this year in that situation.
Yeah, Niceville, Mosley, and all those teams out there, they play some great football. So it'll be interesting to see how they come up with this year, especially after the performance from this opening week.
No, absolutely. And just looking at it, I mean, there was just some interesting results here. And then, of course, another result that this game was ended up being played Monday. There was obviously weather was kind of a factor out in the Panhandle for some teams. Some teams got their games in, but this one kind of threw me for a loop here, and that was West Florida getting a win over Escambia Monday night, 18-13. That one's leaving me scratching my head a little bit because I knew West Florida was going to be in rebuild mode, but maybe I have some questions about Escambia. Is this going to be a little bit longer season for the Gators than we had anticipated, and with the situation that Escambia did graduate some guys. I mean, you got to put new guys in there to fill in some spots, and then when that happens, maybe this is the result of that. It's that maybe this is one of those situations that not all the pieces are gelling just yet.
Yeah, and Escambia, you look at that program and it's like, okay, you expect them to win, especially in games like that, and then you have a game like a Monday night that can come back and bite you.
Yeah, not going to be a distraction there. Pine Forest was 29-0 over Pensacola. That game, they got it in and even do all the weather. Mosley, 64-15 over one of their other rivals. So back-to-back weeks with the Bay County rivals, Rutherford there in Panama City, and then Mosley, 64-15. Of course, this week it's the battle between Bay and Mosley at Tommy Oliver, the shared stadium between Mosley, Rutherford, and Bay. So right there in the middle of downtown Panama City, that's where you can find those three schools playing their home games at most weeks. So, you'll find somebody playing at Tommy Oliver there. They basically rebuilt the stadium from ground up a few years ago, and it is nice. I wish. Here in Gainesville, I wish they would do the same situation as what they did Tommy Oliver, but that's another story for another day for another show. we could go hours on the whole situation here in Gainesville. I tell you what, it just really is. But one of the biggest things is that Mosley reloaded this year, Zach, and I'm glad, Zach. I knew you would love that. I knew you would love that we're going to have Tommy Joe Whiddon on here. I knew you would love it. I figured, and I always love talking to Coach, so it's fun here. But one of the reasons I'm glad that we do this now with the Panhandle Blitz is some people said, you know what, why don't you split off North Florida and make a Panhandle and have a North Florida Blitz? Well, we went ambitious this year and went 8 regions instead of 4, and I think it's starting to pay dividends here because we're able to get down, really zero in on a lot of these programs and being able to talk to everybody, along the teams along the way. And then I'm hoping, I think Chris and I kind of debated this, and I want to do this, is to start to maybe get some of the top athletes and start getting them on for some of our interview segments as well. And then, so, of course, we have members of the media too we bring on as well.
Yeah, and there's no end in sight to the potential we have. This is a great platform for anybody that wants to promote their program or get noticed, especially up in the recruiting ranks. So these college coaches, they do watch some of these shows like this.
Oh no, absolutely, and of course, Zach says he can't make the road trip to Niceville in October, so definitely. And by the way, Mark Cannon and Emery Smith like your background. So, but anyways, Chris,
thank you.
Oh, you got pizza? Where's my pizza at? How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? Ladies and gentlemen, you see what he just did there? He tortured me with food. He tortured me with food, and the refrigerator for me is not even nearby. So stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Anyway, we're going to take a quick 2-minute timeout, and then we're going to have head coach Tommy Joe Whiddon of the Mosley Dolphins joining us here for the interview. We'll be right back here on the Panhandle edition of the Blitz here on FloodHSFootball.com and the FloodHSFootball.com social media platforms.
Box Out gives you the ability to create graphics at the speed of sports to highlight your athletic department, teams, and student athletes in seconds. Used and trusted by Notre Dame, Ohio State, UConn, Marquette, Georgetown, and many more of the top college brands in the country. If you want your school's brand to stand out through all the clutter, start your free demo at boxoutsports.com.
Touchdown! Juggled and caught!
I've been thinking about this for a long time. I thought, if that's out there, I want to make sure I see it and I get involved in it, because to me, this was music to my ears. I was blown away. When you look at today's kid, the millennium kid, they learn by being able to see it. If I can see it, there's a great chance that I can do it. The First Down Playbook is a tool that can essentially change the way we teach the game.
All right, welcome back here to the Panhandle edition of the Blitz here as we roll into week number 2. And joining us for the interview is Tommy Joe Whiddon, the head coach of the Mosley Dolphins. Coach, appreciate you taking a few minutes out of your busy schedule here for some Dolphins football talk. And Coach, what a big win for y'all last week here to start off the season against Rutherford. And and just talk about everything with the Dolphins here. And Coach, you got the fans are already firing off into the chat too about everything. So, kind of give us an insight about what week 1 encapsulated for y'all and what to expect for the rest of this 2025 season.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a great game to start off the season. A little bit unique. we weren't able to have a kickoff classic the week before. It got rained out versus South Walton. So, that was our first true game of the season, and I thought the guys played really well in all three phases. Offensively, we were led by J.P. Holsenback, our quarterback, getting his first ever career start. Played a great game, had 5 touchdown passes in the first half. Defense flew around, forced a couple of turnovers, got us great field position all night. And then we made some big plays in the special teams as well. Will Arboleta had a big kickoff return down to the 15, and Talon Moore had a big punt return inside the 5-yard line to set us up for scores on the next play. So, again, it was a great night. Kids played really hard, had about an hour and a half rain delay to start the game, and we still had a great crowd Friday night. So, again, people are fired up, and we're definitely excited about the season.
No, absolutely. I mean, just talk about that with the guys here. I know you all graduated some of the top athletes in Bay County and in the Panhandle from last season, but you got guys that have come back in reloaded and stuff like that. So talk about some of these guys. I mean, the fact that y'all put up 60 some points, that's impressive in itself as well.
Yeah, no, I thought our execution was really well, but offensively, we got all of our skill guys back outside of our quarterback. So, definitely losing a 3-year starter in Sammy Freitas. We definitely had big shoes to fill, but the kids have confidence in JP. JP was elected unanimous captain this offseason without getting a start. So I think that just speaks to his leadership and how hard he worked in the offseason. On the defense side of the ball, having to replace guys like Kavion Jackson and Raiden Bruins, both guys that went on to play at the Power 4 level. I think Will Arboleta did a great job in replacing LoJack. And then Cole Archambault on the defensive line had 3 sacks. It was a great way to start off the season, again, filling the shoes of Raiden Bruins.
No, absolutely. And I know Chris has got a question here, but I know the comment in the chat, just the special teams trick play on the kickoff return was awesome. So that must have been a highlight of the night right there.
No, it definitely was. We did, we handed it to a couple of different guys, tried to create some confusion. We thought the look was there. I mean, we practiced that thing about 20 times during the week just to make sure we didn't screw it up. And the kids did a great job of executing. And again, we got a big return out of it. Great field position and set up a score on the very next play.
No, absolutely. Chris. Oh, your mic's muted, Chris.
Yeah. Talk about your district schedule. You got Niceville, you got Milton, and you got Gulfport on the schedule. And you also have Escambia coming up before that. Talk about the preparation of scheduling in preparation for your district.
Yeah, no, we definitely feel like, we played Rickers and Navarre and Escambia leading into our district play. And, we think our district is definitely going to be much improved. Coach Douglas over at Milton, I think they're going to be a much improved ball club. Obviously got a big win versus Crestview the other night. And I think they're opening some eyeballs about their football team. And, Niceville is always, I know they lost in a tough game to Lincoln the other night, but again, Niceville is always going to be Niceville. Obviously this year having to go over there in that tough environment. So we definitely going to have our work cut out for us. And we just got to take it 1 week at a time and try to get better and try to improve over the course of the football season. And, that's definitely our goal and what we're trying to do.
No, absolutely. And, Coach, I know, your roots go back to Niceville and everything. And, everybody will say you'd had the opportunity to go back to Niceville, but, apply for the head coaching job when it came open. But you stuck it out. You stayed at Mosley. You said, I'm Mosley through and through. What makes Mosley so special for you that, when you considering that, your roots, you're in coaching, you were at Booker T. Washington, obviously before, in Pensacola before coming to Mosley. And, you've been around a very few schools as an assistant coach. What just makes Mosley that place that's like, hey, this is home for me?
Well, I mean, we got a lot of people at Mosley. They definitely care about football. They care about the direction of this program is going in. I think we've worked really hard over the past 5 years to put ourselves in this position. I think we've got a lot of talented players, not only on our varsity team, but our lower levels as well. And, we're committed to trying to make this program the best that we possibly can be. I love being at Mosley. I love coming to work every single day. I got a great principal in Mr. Bullock. I have a great athletic director in Coach Lee that make my job and a fun job to come to on a daily basis. And like I said, I feel like we've come a long way. We've by no means reached our goals about where we're trying to go as a program. And we definitely got a lot of unfinished business that we're trying to get to and make our program where it's not just known here in the Panhandle, but across the entire state of Florida.
Now, this week you've got Bay coming up. I mean, I know Bay had a pretty big win over against Arnold last week. So, I mean, you just talk about the preparation player. When it comes to in-county rivalries, I know that there's always going to be the chirping going on between both sides. So, I mean, how do you keep the noise down with the guys in the locker room and just like, hey, we got to focus on what we got to focus on. We can't control the stuff on the outside.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's something you preach every day, but in modern day high school football and social media, that chirping, whoever you're playing, chirping's going on every single week behind the scenes. It's been something that we definitely address. But again, our kids have played against the Bay High kids their entire life, going back to elementary school. Everybody's very familiar with one another. Tommy Oliver, we're going to have a great crowd on Friday night. I know both teams are going to be excited to play, and we definitely look forward to the challenge. And they had a big win last week. And I know they're going to be fired up, and so are we, and hopefully it'll be a fun Friday night.
And we got a couple of comments here in the thing. There's at least one question in the chat here, but Chris, I'm pretty sure you got another question you want to fire off the coach here.
Yeah, Coach. One of the most underrated things about the Panhandle is the support of the community, and a lot of people don't realize how close knit the community is up in the Panhandle. Talk about the community and how it relates to the success of the football programs.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, there's definitely across the Panhandle, it's to me definitely unique compared to other parts of the state. Just the amount of people that we have come to our games, a lot of community support, and Friday nights mean a lot to a lot of different people. And I think that's one thing that makes Panhandle football special, not just in Panama City, but all the way through the Panhandle. You'll see that on Friday nights wherever you go. And it's something that you try to explain to your kids and to your players. I don't think sometimes they realize how good they have it from the attendance, the support from the local community, but something that we're definitely appreciative of and blessed that people want to come out and watch us play on Friday nights.
No, absolutely. And Coach, Zach, who's sitting here, obviously a big Mosley fan. How much better is Bay compared to the past 2 years where the games haven't been as competitive? I mean, considering that, I know with Jeremy Brown over there at Bay, I know he's been working to improve the program over there. I know they've had their own issues, like what you came in when Mosley had their own situation, struggling, not being able to win a district championship. You've been able to turn the tide on that when, several district titles already. Just talk about the improvement that, and how again the game this week's going to be much more competitive, it looks like.
Like always, Bay definitely has some dynamic players on both sides of the ball, and they definitely got guys like Amari number one for them. Anytime he touches the ball, he can definitely take it to the house. And Var's a big number two. He's a big wideout on the outside that they're going to try to get the ball to. MJ Wilkerson, one of their running backs, he played for us a couple of years ago. He transferred over to Bay. Somebody we're very familiar with. Again, so they've got quality players on the field, and you saw that last week when they played Arnold. And so again, we're expecting to get their best shot.
No, absolutely. Chris, any final thoughts for Coach or any questions as we wrap it up here?
I think you got a great program up there, and I look forward to seeing what you do over the course of the year.
Well, I appreciate that.
No, Coach, and I appreciate you taking a few minutes out of your busy schedule. I know the preparation every week for the game week and everything, and I definitely love being able to talk football with you. You're definitely a wealth of knowledge there, especially up there in the Panhandle area and especially around Bay County, and I definitely appreciate you coming on here on the Panhandle edition of the Blitz tonight with us.
Well, again, I appreciate you having me on, and Josh, I appreciate all the work that you put into high school football, not only in the Panhandle but across the state. Just the awareness and what you're trying to be to the game. Not a lot of people out there doing that, and again, I just appreciate you do that on a weekly basis.
No, I thank you. Appreciate that, Coach. I really do appreciate that. Have a good night, man.
You too.
All right. That was head coach Tommy Joe Whiddon joining us here on the Panhandle edition of the Blitz. And I mean, Mosley, again, another one of those programs that just, you come into a situation where maybe success has been kind of struggling there, and he's built success for that program. And this weekend, again, a big battle coming up with in-county rivalry with Bay here. Part of the rivalry between the four schools there, usually usually got Bay, Mosley, Rutherford, and Arnold. Those are the four schools that go at it. There's a fifth school in that Bay County, but they don't really participate because they're way further up in the north end of the county in the rural areas, and that's Bozeman. So, but the battle of Bay County right there with those four schools.
And you can't go wrong with the rivalry games, and that's one of them. And look forward to seeing how that game turns out.
No, absolutely. And of course, the fan chat. And of course, Zach says he's waiting for the Florida High revenge game week 11. So that'll be interesting to see here as we go along here. But all right, we're going to take just a little over 2-minute timeout. We got our special messaging from Jaguars Prep and the Jacksonville Jaguars, where they have been really doing a lot over the last few years, expanding not just within the market stuff, but also reaching out to those schools further out, especially those out in the Panhandle. We'll be right back here on the Panhandle edition of the Blitz with the Pick Six and fan questions and comments coming up.
High school sports fans, follow your team live with a free ScoreStream mobile app. Download ScoreStream to get real-time scores, photos, and awesome video. Plus, follow your favorite teams and friends. Get real-time high school sports from ScoreStream.
Box Out gives you the ability to create graphics at the speed of sports to highlight your athletic department, teams, and student athletes in seconds. Used and trusted by Notre Dame, Ohio State, UConn, Marquette, Georgetown, and many more of the top college brands in the country. If you want your school's brand to stand out through all the clutter, start your free demo at boxoutsports.com.
Juggled and caught!
All right, welcome back here to the Panhandle edition of the Blitz here. Josh Wilson here along with Christopher Like. And in our fan questions and comments, we do actually have something else that we did not talk about here, but we probably should go ahead and talk about it here, is that Gadsden County had the fine reduced today. But also in breaking news, Russell Ellington is no longer the head coach of Gadsden County. He has left for Savannah State University as the wide receivers coach. So coaching change at Gadsden County as we roll through the season. Of course, you know, Gadsden County, 22-0 loss to Tift County. Things are definitely running a lot for the 2A state runner-up from last year. And right now, as it stands, they're still trying to appeal the playoff ban. So this is why, again, we have not moved Gadsden County out of the 2A rankings or even considered moving anything around with them in our rankings with the Florida Power Rankings Index, because right now, basically, they're still innocent until all the appeals have been approved. It's like just a court. It's due process, like a court of law. So so we basically go through that, and we're just gonna we won't know an answer until end of next month when the FSU Board of Directors meeting has their first 5 meetings of the 2025-26 school year. So we will find out then what happens. But as far as right now, Gadsden County still on shaky ground in terms of what the season's going to look like for the remainder of the season. But I can also tell you right now, Chris, Gadsden County, they ended up dropping 30 spots after that loss.
Yeah, and it didn't look pretty, and it still doesn't look pretty for them. But they're in for a big rebuilding year especially with all the changes going on over the last couple of weeks.
I got a question here from Zach here. It said, Josh, which teams from the Panhandle have a legit shot at making a deep run in the state this year? Not saying that it can win state, but can make a deep run. Well, we're talking, I mean, in the Panhandle, that goes all the way from the Swanee River west all the way to the state line. With Alabama, I mean, really at this particular point, I mean, you got to think the usual suspect of Madison County is still lurking around, despite the fact they did lose week 1. I think Lincoln has a good shot at deep run here. Niceville, also another team. Mosley would be another team I think could have a shot. I think you got to get a first round, that bug of the first round playoff of the first round jitters. I think that's been the hang up for Mosley the last couple of years. You know, there's obviously there's and there's some games people are talking about where the watch playoff games, not playoff games, watch games from the Panhandle and NFHS Network. We do have stuff with them. So if you click any of the links that we do put out at some point, we do we are able to make a little bit of revenue off of that. But anyways, Chris, you know what time it is?
Pick six time.
It is pick 6 time here as we roll along here. Time for the picks for week number 2. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, Mosley and Bay, or Bay and Mosley, that game is one of our picks this week. But as we roll along here, game number 1, Baker at Destin. Ooh, the Gators versus the Sharks. Small school football at its finest. Baker coming off a big win last week. Destin also big win last week. So somebody has to take an L this week, Chris.
Well, this is going to be a great game. But I think Destin, a program on the rise, I think they should take the game and win it at home in a close one.
You know, a lot of people are interested in Destin. I think Destin could win this game, but give me the spread. And give me Matt Broson's program to win this program with the run game. I got to go Baker here. I feel like Baker learned a lot last year as a younger program, and I feel like it's going to be the Gators here. David Kolskowski, good to see you here in the chat. I know you've been mentioning some stuff here as well, and it's kind of going split in the chat about Baker or Destin, and Reno is taking Destin in this as well. All right, this game you couldn't get into the North Central Florida one, but we'll put it in this one here because why not? Franklin County at Bell, an SSA Atlantic matchup here. Bell coming off a big loss last week. Franklin County is getting the season started. Got the season started here with this past week, and go ahead and pull that up. Franklin County beat Central out of Milton 31-0. So Franklin County, the Seahawks are 1-0 in the season, and boy, we had John Cooper on the start 2 weeks ago, and he was excited about the season. He was excited about this particular matchup coming up, and here we are featuring it here on the Panhandle Blitz. Chris, what are you thinking here as we roll along?
I really like what Franklin County is doing, and I think they're going to come away to win.
No, absolutely. I'm liking Franklin County as well. I think that, after I think Bell's susceptible, especially after losing to Trenton last week. And I'm taking the Seahawks, and Reno is taking the Seahawks as well. All right, our next game up on the list is, as we showed, the Franklin County as a 6-point favorite over Bell, win probability 71%. All right, our next game up on the list is Bay versus Mosley at Tommy Oliver. And boy, you're going to like this forecast line here as I pull it up here. Bay, a 1-point favorite over Mosley. I don't necessarily agree with the computer on this, but I think it's going to be a tight ball game. I think Bay's much improved. Obviously, we saw that last week against Arnold, but I still I like what Mosley's doing. But the win probability is a 51-49. So basically, coin toss, flip a coin, you probably have your winner.
Yeah, it's going to be a close one, but I like Mosley to eke out a win. Maybe an overtime game.
I think Mosley wins this one. There's some people. The Mosley fans in this chat are really going off. They're picking Mosley over Bay. Mosley big. Zach says Mosley 50-28. David Kozlowski says the computer has gone crazy. It's early in the season, Zach. Give the algorithm a chance. It's still running fairly lean on the preseason numbers right in a second. So as we get more in-season data, it's gonna start to sell itself out. So just give it just give it a little time here and everything.
Give it another couple of weeks.
Give it another couple of weeks. We'll see where it's at. And I will tell y'all this. I am trying to make tweaks to it as I see things that may be like an issue that we need to address. Go ahead and address the issue now. Go ahead and nip it in the bud before it becomes a problem. So far, I'm liking where things are at, but that's a nice thing about being able to work on these things is just make the tweaks as needed and see where we go from there. That's all we got to do as we roll along. All right, our fourth game is Taylor County. We'll call it Taylor County. How about that? Beating Fort White 21-3. And Wakulla did get a win over Leon, but it was a closer one than I think people would have expected against Leon. And Wakulla, I think Wakulla is I'm just not sure about Wakulla, but Taylor County, how about that? Small school football, rural football. My gut tells me to take Taylor County, but we'll see. How you feeling, Chris?
Yeah, I trust the gut, and I think Taylor County could have won.
Yeah, I love what Jesse Braswell's doing there for the Bulldogs, and nothing against Scott Cleese. I just think it's some people are going Wakulla here, but I just feel like Taylor County is showing some improvements. I guess Taylor County did go down from 2A to rural. But, again, they had several issues going on. Allison Posey addressed that last week. It's not just the hurricanes that hit there. They also had a major plant, a major industry plant closed there. So, again, a lot of people left Taylor County. And some people even crossed the state line, and now they're up in towards Georgia where, they can find work. So, with that, so the students go. But here we go. Pizza's good for the gut, Mark Gannon says.
There's been a lot of pizza talk on the chat. You haven't noticed it.
I have noticed the pizza talk tonight. It's good. I like it. I like to chat when this chat's going off like this. It's good fan interaction. I love it. Y'all are fun to chat with. Y'all are fun to have on the chat. This is why we put the live chat. That's why we, instead of just trying to throw comments up, we'll have a lot. We have the live chat on the side this year. That's what we did this year. That's what I love about it. All right, our fifth game is Escambia at Niceville. Oh, boy, Escambia coming off that loss to West Florida. Niceville smarting off that loss off of Lincoln. Somebody's got to win, but, boy. Man, oh, man, oh, man. The computer likes one team, but does not like the other. Niceville, a 19-point favorite over Escambia, giving Niceville a 95% chance to win. Chris, Eagles or Gators?
You know what? Fly, Eagles fly.
That's Philadelphia Phillies line now. Come on now. Just kidding. Niceville. That's what the chat is firing off away with. Did you just follow up a prop? I didn't even look. Did you have a prop up there? Did you say fly? Chris has got the props. All right, one more for the taking here. Madison County versus Lincoln at Gene Cox. That is tomorrow night. Boy, Madison County coming off that 1-point loss to DeLand. Lincoln coming off that win against Niceville. Who is it going to be, Madison or Lincoln? As the computer thinks this is going to be a very close game, less than a touchdown, Chris.
I kind of agree with the computer. It's going to be a close game, and this is going to be a game that's probably going to be like a field goal. I like Madison County.
Well, you and Reno are going Madison. I see some picks in here for Lincoln. I think Lincoln's got this game. I like what they did against Niceville. If you can win against Niceville, you're going to be able to win against Madison. I'm going to take the Trojans for the win and give head coach Matt Action Jackson his second win as the head coach of the Lincoln Trojans. That's what I'm thinking. I'm sorry, Madison County. Y'all probably off to an 0-2 start after this week, unfortunately. That's in my opinion, but, we'll see what happens. Sometimes I'm wrong, and sometimes I eat crow. So. All right, that is the pick six for week number 2 here on the Panhandle edition of the Blitz. And Chris, boy, that is it. We have wrapped up another set of 8 shows here for the weekend. Boy, we have done, 8, 16. What is this now? 24 shows we have done here. First week 0 through week 2. So, yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of shows, but we enjoy doing this. This is something. It was bold and adventurous, but I feel like it was for what we're going to do this year. What the heck? What the heck? What? Y'all see what he's doing to me? I haven't even eaten dinner yet, and he's sitting here putting pizza out on the show. I mean, it's been great. Y'all have been fun with the show and the chat and tonight. Y'all have been amazing. I definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, we have.
Everybody, tell your friends, tell your family, tell anybody you know. Get on YouTube at Fort HS Football. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the likes on the videos. The more likes you can put on our videos, our shows, the more it's going to recommend in the algorithm for people to watch what we're doing here. And we're going to have all
we
this.
have a lot of fun, too.
Yeah, we're going to have this at FortHSFootball.com. And David Kozlowski, I come back and watch it when you're not being able to, if you can't watch us live. We will be, we will have the shows archived. They're on YouTube and will be archived on FortHSFootball.com as well. Honestly, it's fun to be able to be with y'all and do these shows. And Chris, it's fun to have you on as well. And then we'll have Reno on at times as well. But get ready. Once we hit the week 5, we're doing 9 shows. We're going to drive the state as well, which will be the playoff bracket. So we'll have that coming up in a few weeks as well once the playoff rankings start to come out. So, but wow, what a night, Chris.
Yeah, been fun.
Yeah, it's been fun. All right, for Christopher Like, I'm Joshua Wilson, and we'll see you next week for the Blitz shows starting Tuesday with the Southwest Florida Blitz, and then going through all the way through Wednesday night with the Panhandle edition of the Blitz. All right, good night, and best of luck to everybody this week in week number 2.